Hey Scorpio, it's Empress Rose here and welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. Major placements are Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I believe any placement you've just learned about that's exciting to you or interesting to you or anything like that, whatever catches your fancy. Because if we take what works and leave what doesn't, then we're never going to shoehorn a reading into our life and make it make sense. I'd say you know pretty early on if this reading's for you or not. All right, we're starting with two oracle decks, the Moonology and the Work Your Light Magic decks, combined into one monster deck. All right, what do we have for Scorpio? What's the message for Scorpio this week? And that's it. Anything else? Just that? Just that for Scorpio? Is there, maybe that's all you need. Maybe that's the only message you need. Let's do a little bit more riveting YouTube video material right here. Watching a lady shuffle. What you watching there, sweetheart? I'm watching some lady shuffle cards. So fascinating. Okay. All right. Here we have, I love this one. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Do something else. Do something to change it up. You've been sitting here watching YouTube videos for too long. Maybe go do something else, or just anything like that. There's been some stagnancy here. Move your body in a different way than you're used to. Move your energy around. Shift your energy. You know, if you haven't danced in a while, dance, put on some music. If you haven't just sat and listened to music for a while, just sit and listen to music for a while. If you haven't been out for a hike, go out for a hike. If you've been out for lots of hikes and maybe you need to sit down, just whatever energy you've been in, switch it up, find something else to do and enjoy, take pleasure in that. Change your energy. And then we have communication is key, new moon in Gemini, so a beginning, some sort of new cycle or something new here, needing to talk, needing to communicate about that. Maybe try communicating in a different way than you have before, changing the energy behind your communication, especially if it's with someone that you've been dealing with for a long time, just kind of changing that communication energy. And then a full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. So something big, something exciting coming at you, but you may need to change your energy, may need to change the way you're communicating something. But this fiery climax approaches, the way I read that card is it doesn't really matter what you do. If you keep slogging away or if you do change your energy, it's coming whether you're ready or not, right? There's something big, maybe probably a little bit exciting, a little bit interesting, and maybe a little bit surprising coming your way. But a surprising communication, possibly a big surprising communication coming your way. It's going to take you out of some stagnancy. Or maybe you have to take yourself out of some stagnancy. Maybe that one's just for you to do. All right, we're going to move on to the Santa Muerte deck here for a more traditional spread. That's what I'm doing right now, if you wanted me to narrate here. So for Scorpio, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, your possible outcome. Well, this could be a totally different story. Totally different vibe than what we just got. Okay, in your recent past, we have the Justice card. You may have had to interact with the justice system recently, or some sort of fairness came in, some sort of balancing the scales of justice or even of karma. Something came in there was some fairness. I've never seen this in the recent past. Like, I see this in hopes, I see this reversed in issues, I see this in what you're supposed to. Never seen this in the past, but in your recent past, you've either dealt with the justice system or some fairness, some truth has come in. The scales were balanced, maybe even just for a minute, because then You could be in the middle of a tower moment, a major shakeup in your life, obviously, you could be moving, you could be, this is typically an unexpected shakeup. The purpose of these shakeups is to rearrange your life. Next to this Justice card, this looks like a pretty big situation here, pretty big deal. Could be a, you know, thinking of all the things, it could be a divorce, an adoption, a marriage, because that's got legal elements to it, but something sort of coming out of either the legal system or either this justice that's come in the past, something coming back to haunt somebody. It's really shaken up some of your life. There's been a major shakeup here, and sort of an earthquake came in your life, dumped all your books off the bookshelf. You get a chance now to rearrange the books in a new order. I mean, the purpose of these tower moments is to come in, kind of shake things up. You know, it's our Lego tower, and okay, our little brother came in and smashed it to pieces, but now we've got all these pieces and we can build a better tower. And since we've already built the tower, we know how to build a better tower next time, right? So, but nobody really particularly enjoys a good tower moment. I think you have to be living, I can imagine somewhat enjoying a tower moment, just because you understand that it's going to rearrange things, and these things are going to get rearranged for the better. If you don't get sucked into my life's destroyed, everything's falling apart, if you don't get sucked into that thinking, but can maintain some sort of like, okay, all right, we're just rearranging the furniture here of life. Okay, we're going to recycle these materials. This is like a star nursery. Okay, that star exploded. Interesting. That was dramatic. Okay. Well, now all those particles go to the star nursery and new stars get born out of that. So that's exciting. So, you know, maybe, but generally tower moments aren't that fabulous for most of us. We like a little more certainty, a little more stability in our lives. So there's some stability that's come through here and is rearranging things, maybe a little discombobulating. You may not, you know, once things settle, you can figure out get your bearings here, but you may not be in a place where you're able to get your bearings quite yet. What your hopes, your fears, 10 of Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles, especially the way this deck shows them, is the as much you're worried that this situation has gotten is as good as it will get, right? This is as good as much money, as much time, as much wealth, as much abundance as can be squeezed out of a situation, and it may be time to move on. I think you are afraid of this. I think you're worried that this is the end of this situation and there's no more to be done. I mean, a tower situation, yeah, honestly, it's life coming in saying like, no, there's nothing else to be gotten here. It's time to move on, right? And I don't think you want to. I think you're worried about moving on. But this is the fulfillment of the cycle, the end of as much, like this is a dilapidated village, right? So, and there's a treasure chest here that's full and locked. Okay, so that means that we've gotten all the nutrients. We've grown everything the soil can grow. We've lived in these houses as long as these houses can be lived in. We've had this job for as long as we can have this job. And you may be worried that something's over, something's ending, something's as fulfilling as it can possibly be. You may be looking at that. You may be hoping for that. You may be worried that that's where you're at. These other two cards, this Justice card, this Tower card, I'm saying that I think that is where you're at. I don't think you want to see it. I think you would like to pretend that this tower isn't happening. Possibly. I think you're worried about it. You're worried that this is, you might be worried that this is as good as it's going to get overall in your life, which would be silly. But you know, it's a concern we sometimes come up with. But there's something that's at the end of it's fulfilled all of the promise it had. When that Ace of Pentacles came into this situation, it was so full of promise, and the 10 of Pentacles is that promise has been fulfilled. It's come to fruition as much as it's possibly going to come to fruition. I think you might be struggling to see that or accept that. This is hopes, fears, and what's on your mind. So I'm seeing mostly fears that this is as full as the situation can get. And that you have to move on, and I think you're worried about that. And then this is funny, Libra just got this in the same exact position. The reverse, what's at issue here is this Page of Pentacles. It's an issue. You have, there's some sort of money or time issue going on here. You were supposed to be learning about something. There's some sort of new start, new beginning, or messages possibly, learning how to grow your own food, you know, and just going off this Ten of Pentacles, learning how to make your own money, learning how to manage time, something like that. It was supposed to a new beginning, harvesting something that's yours. I don't think that's happened yet. I don't think that you have harvested. I think you could be worried that this is the end and there's nothing more to harvest, and you never got to harvest anything. You never got there. You never got what you came for. Is this really as fulfilling as this gets? Because I didn't get fulfilled. My bolsa is just like, at the beginning, I just put my first little piece of fruit in there. I didn't even get anything out of this. In your environment is a lot of fast-moving energy. Things changing, things growing very rapidly. We're getting this also from the Tower here. Things moving very rapidly. This is Seven of Wands. A lot of growth, a lot of movement. Almost like this forest comes up very suddenly, and lots of messages, lots of information, a lot of quick movement, quick communication, very unsettled energy. It comes under this Justice card, and so relates to it somehow. Maybe if you've been dealing with the justice system or something, there's some sort of a bunch of messages coming in about something that's happened already. A bunch of new messages and information coming out about whatever interaction you may have had with the justice system, or just even the cosmic karmic system. Some messages there are coming in. So in your environment, there's a lot of movement, unsettled energy, a lot of communication going on. Your to-do list is to be really stubborn and to not cooperate. I'm just reading the cards. Two of Swords. This is a scissors that's been put together incorrectly. All we need to do is put it together correctly, and we can get going. But this is a very stubborn energy. This is stubbornness, uncooperation, not really open to listening. It's a block. Block it. Don't be a useful tool. Don't be useful here. It cracks me up when this one shows up in your to-do list. This Two of Wands or Two of Swords shows up in the to-do list, because it's just the ultimate block. You go no further. Just being stubborn. And normally we're trying to, you know, move out of that energy. Your intuition's calling. All you need to do is change something up and it'll be, but I feel like you're not supposed to be useful. There's something here. I mean, Two of Swords is, we have communication. That's what's interesting here too, is we have the Two of Swords and we have the Gemini communication. Swords are, this is like a similar card. Swords are communication and thoughts, ideas, and in the two, it's blocked. It's like the one plants it, the ace plants it, and then the two is like, what, really? That's basically how that goes in the suits. So this Two of Swords, there's like some sort of communication. We have all this communication from Seven of Wands, and you're like supposed to be blocking it or something. And we also have this communication is key, but I just see you not cooperating, not being useful. Which means you're not being used, right? Not being useful means not being used. You know, I always wanted to be very useful. It was very, oh yeah. You know, I think I equated that with being valued as being useful, but I've come to realize that the more useful you are, the more used you can be, right? So having useful as a goal is great in some situations, but you need to understand that you could also be used because you are so useful. So if someone wants to use you, they will. So I see this as not being used, refusing to be used, refusing to cooperate with something. You've had this unsettling energy. You may not know where you are. You may be a little, could be some confusion, some unsettled energy, but just, you don't have to be useful. You don't have to be the tool that they want you to be. Blocking. You're blocking some sort of communication, but yet we have communication is key here. So hopefully that's making sense to you, because it's a hard message for me to want to give, but yet I also have enough life experience to know that there are moments where you need to block, you need to not be useful, you need to not cooperate, you need to not give in, you need to stay right where you are and be very stubborn about it, because it looks like somebody could be trying to use you or trying to communicate with you in a destructive way, and you need to change up the energy and the dynamic here. Whew, right, a fiery climax approaches. And then this is refusal. We have Four of Cups. So Four of Cups is this is your possible outcome. Four of Cups, we have an offer being refused. Here we're being told, block, refuse. Here's where you're going. Refusing the offer. You've already had this before. You've already had this drink a million times before, and you just don't want it anymore. And another offer, another communication is going to come in, and you're going to refuse it. We've already been here. This almost sounds like you're doing negotiations with an insurance company. We've already been here. I've already heard that offer. It's bullshit. Take it and shove it up your ass. Like, I'm not doing this again. I don't want that offer. It's absolute, doesn't even begin to cover my costs. So no. So anyway, I am not a lawyer. I am not your lawyer, and I am not giving legal advice. That's not what I'm doing. But this is where you're going. There could be offers that you could be needing to refuse. Maybe this is in your personal life. I mean, I don't know. So follow your lawyer's advice. I'm just reading some cards for you. Okay. So, if you trust your lawyer. So Four of Cups here, this is an offer being refused, not picking up where you left off, not taking the bait again. Like, that's how I've become to see the Four of Cups. Is like, you've already given me this drink multiple times. I'm not taking the bait this time. I'm not taking it. There's some depression here, some sadness here, some frustration here. I mean, maybe you are thirsty and you'd really like to have a drink, but you'd like an offer that tastes good. Like, I've already had your gross mix here. It's disgusting. I don't want it. So that could be what's going on. You could be also feeling like you're just not interested in the things that you used to be interested in. A little bit of depression, some drained energy, but also, with this Two of Swords here, blocking, and then this Four of Cups is refusing. I don't want this anymore. Refusing an offer, refusing what you've normally accepted, what you've normally taken, what you've normally put up with. Just this whole reading is, I'm not putting up with this anymore. And you're supposed to be changing some kind of dynamic here. And it has to do with communication. So, but yes, again, I am not your lawyer, and I'm just bringing up examples of possibilities. So follow good, sound legal advice here. But this is a pretty intense reading, at least for me and my personality and how I the things I tend to value, cooperation, communication, all of that. For me to be doing a reading where you're blocking, you're refusing to cooperate, and then you're refusing offers is pretty wild. So anyway, I hope that that's helpful for you, Scorpio. It's a pretty wild situation for me. Anyway, all right, we're going to look to this wild Kuan Yin oracle, see if we can't get more wild going on here. Ooh, I love this card so much. It's very unique in the deck. There's no yak in this card. There's a dry riverbed. There's a dry riverbed, and we know what goes in a dry riverbed eventually, a river, but it's not there right now. Oasis of hope. The successes that seem impossible are all the more precious for their unlikelihood. These are reminders of divine power, the triumph of hope, of winning against the odds. Remember that life thrives hidden even in the desert. Do not give up hope. Believe in the inevitability of your beautiful destiny. It's possibly one of my favorite cards in this deck. And I love all of the cards in this deck. But that one, that hope in what we don't even see yet, in what's not here, we just see a riverbed. So, anyway, a fiery climax approaches. Very exciting stuff. Very, whew, you are, I don't know, be stubborn, refuse. Very fascinating reading. All right, Scorpio, I hope that was helpful for you. Remember to follow. I am not your lawyer, so I'm not giving legal advice. I'm reading some cards for you, but definitely something to think about and consider and open your mind to here. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and your comments.